Hello and welcome to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Grow West, the Technology Council of West Kentucky, KY Innovation, and local partners Sprocket Innovation in Paducah and the Kentucky Innovation Station in Madisonville. We are on episode 227. There's a question I get a lot that I wanted to spend some time starting today, but it'll probably take us a few weeks to get through. And it really has to do with AI. I mean, AI is taking over the world. It is allowing us to be much more efficient in what we do. It's allowing us to be much more effective and create some really cool content. It's also causing problems, and there's fake videos, and it's allowing the bad guys to do more with better attacks to attack us, and just a lot of things. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time. We'll start today, and we're going to go through of what are some tips, what are some things that we need to be doing to stay safe while we're using AI. And you've heard me say this before. AI is not a new thing. Generative AI, ChatGPT made generative AI usable by you and me, and so we think AI is new. It's really not that new, but it has taken over the last few years like crazy. So stay safe when you're using AI. I wanted to spend a little bit of time on this, and in future weeks we'll talk about the security elements and how to keep our organization safe, and then also how to use it as a cybersecurity professional. But first, step number one is to mind your inputs. And this is a list that comes from CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. And it has some really good suggestions and tips that I think are worth us considering. And number one is to mind your inputs. AI systems use what's called a large language model to learn. They learn from the language that people are using, and we can point to whatever it is that we want it to learn from. So, some of these generative AI tools are using the internet, are using all websites on the internet, are using the input that you put into the system. So the data, the information that you're putting into the prompt, it is using to learn from. So refrain from sharing anything that you want to keep private, because it goes into its record, and it's possible that information is going to come out that you don't want to have come out. That includes company data, that includes your personal details. And I like the tip that's on here that CISA provides. Avoid sharing sensitive or confidential information with AI models. If you wouldn't post it on social media, don't share it with AI. I always like to use, I heard this 25 years ago, and I've kind of used this ever since. It's, if I wouldn't want to see it on the front page of the newspaper, which I get that's an old reference, then don't post it. And that's kind of my rule of thumb. Be privacy aware. Since AI models often scrape data from the web, what you share publicly online may be copied in whole or in part by AI tools. Number one, watch what you put into the prompt. If you're using ChatGPT, into the blank that when you're wanting something to pop out, whatever you put in, it's going to use. All right. However, it's also going to use your websites, your blogs, maybe your social media posts. If you're putting data out on the web, then I'm going to say it's fair game. Is it fair? I don't know. That's a different discussion, because there's a lot of copyright arguments and fights going on with AI. But the reality is, if it's online, it's going to use to learn from it. It won't copy your work per se. It will use it to help create new information. Now, what that also means, and this isn't what the tip is about, but if it's learning from the web, and I often talk about the bias of AI, if it's learning from the internet and what's out on the web, is there any material out on the web that you might consider to be biased or prejudiced or racist? Fill in the blank. Um, you know, yes, all of those bad things exist on the web. So if it's going to exist on the web, then there's also a good chance it's going to exist in our AI tools. Just be aware of that. Um, as I've heard say often, crap in and crap out. Um, if there's good data that's going in, there's going to be good stuff coming out. If not, it won't. Think about what you share with a wide audience. Would you want AI to have it? You got to keep that in mind. How are hackers using AI? Cyber criminals may use AI to fool you. Public tools can mimic a person's voice or image, often called a deep fake. Criminals can make voice call to mimic a trusted person and steal money, or to harass people by posting fake or modified images and videos. I'm going to get into a lot more of this, but just let me say, help desk are receiving phone calls from public officials that are not them. Back in the presidential campaign, one of the early primaries, there was a phone call that supposedly came from President Biden that was trying to tell people not to go vote. It wasn't President Biden. There are so many different things that AI can do. If AI can make us smarter, the good guys smarter, it can make the bad guys smarter as well. You got to keep that in mind. Videos. There are pictures and videos of people doing inappropriate things that they criticize the people, but it's not really them. It was AI generated. The voices, the videos, it all may be fake, but we don't necessarily know that. And that's where we have to be skeptical on a lot of the things that we're doing. You know, AI can create a much better email, or, you know, if you lose your credentials, then your email password, let me say it that way. If you lose your email password, we can use AI tools to review your mailbox and pull out all of your contacts, and even craft emails to your contacts that would fish for information from them. There's so much bad stuff that can happen with AI, just like the good stuff. So the tip here is to stay updated on cybersecurity best practices. Criminals using AI as a tool makes it more important that everyone protect themselves using the core 4 behaviors: strong passwords, multi-factor authentications, software updates, and report phishing. All very true. And then the last one. While AI can assist with tasks, it is important to maintain your expertise and not rely solely on AI-generated content. Prompting isn't the same as creating. Treat AI as a helpful tool rather than a replacement for your skills. Now, let me say, when calculators came along, calculators have been around as long as I can remember, but when they were developed, we didn't quit teaching math. We still wanted people to understand math. Spell check is a great thing, but we still teach spelling in school. We still want people to know how to write. Well, AI is a great tool that can help you do a lot of things, but it doesn't take a replacement, or doesn't replace that you should use your brain. And as a basic user of technology and AI tools, you should use your brain to make sure that what you're looking at is legitimate. Don't just blindly click things. Don't just blindly put stuff into AI and not evaluate what's coming back. Make sure you're taking the steps to stay safe online. It is up to you to keep yourself, your family, your business safe online. So please just take a little bit of time. AI is a great tool and it has made me much more efficient. But we have to be careful about what we do, what we accept blindly, and how we can modify some of those things. Well, we will certainly continue this conversation with AI about AI in the coming weeks. If you have any questions, anything that I can do to help you, please don't hesitate to let me know. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you next week back here on 10 at 10. Thank you. Bye.